The CEO is a very unique animal. I'm Alex Gertzberg, and this is CEO Confidential, where we learn about this rare breed, one heartbreak, one victory, one story at a time. This show is sponsored by the law firm of Gertzberg Licata, your ally for business growth. Thanks for joining us once again for another exciting episode of CEO Confidential. Today, we're talking to Dan Charney, president of Direct Recruiters, Inc., an executive search firm, 25 different vertical and functional areas, 75 employees, folks that Dan calls market masters, which I love as a title, over 20 million in combined revenue. DRI was ranked in 2020 as being in the top 30 of all search firms nationwide. Wow, that's crazy. Dan's 22-year search expertise and unique industry perspectives drive the growth at DRI. This well-respected entrepreneur is also co-founder of the Ohio Recruiters Association. He is a regular keynote speaker and has been widely published in many well-known trade publications. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Charney. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
22 years. Is that possible?
Seems like a long time. You and I have been, that's how long I've been practicing law. And I always think that I'm like, it seems like I'm lying to somebody when I say that. It seems like such a bizarre amount of time. But no, that's you. Yeah, we're both old, I think is when it comes down.
It goes quick.
Yeah.
It goes quick.
Yeah. All right. So Dan, tell me about the time when your business was just decimated overnight, cut in half in 2008, and how you came out of that crisis.
Yeah. So let's go back to 2008. I guess leading up to that is part of the story. So I started in the business 1999, kind of in a tough period. So that was the .com era, if some of your listeners remember that. And there was all that uncertainty about Y2K and what would happen with the internet and all of that. So I started the business in a tough environment. A lot of companies were not hiring. The companies that were skeptical. So probably the best thing that could have happened to me was that. And my mentor and the founder of our firm, a guy by the name of Sheldon Myroff, he really taught me that the strength of our firm is not going to be in good times, but it's going to be in bad times. He taught me to basically make mistakes faster and how to be a risk taker and an entrepreneur, which is was not necessarily my nature. I think I'm a little bit more conservative and strategic by nature. He pushed me to make mistakes faster, really had a shoot first mentality. So I came in the industry during this tough period for our country, a little bit of a recession, learned the business that way. And then we came out of that 2001 through 2007, even the beginning of 2008, and we had a lot of success. And we grew the business mostly in and around manufacturing automation. So that was our calling card. We were successful because our clients knew, and you use the term market masters, we knew areas of, if you can kind of picture an Amazon warehouse today, all the crazy robots, conveyors, barcoding technology, RFID, all the crazy stuff that's in there.
Right.
We were in on the beginnings of that. Those were our clients. Our customers were the companies that made that stuff. We found them their key people, from their executives down to their engineers. I shouldn't say down to their engineers, but from their executives to their engineers. And we were really successful in that space. All of a sudden, the mortgage crisis hits. Great recession. All this momentum that we built for 7 years, I mean, we're decimated. Nobody's hiring. We just moved into these big new office suites in Solon, and it was like, wow, what are we going to do?
Give me some numbers. Give me some sort of vital stats here. So going into 2008 and coming out of 2008. Where are we? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we started, I mean, back then in much smaller scale, but we were doing a couple million a year or thereabouts, and we were more than cut in half. I mean, I remember certain months, if we closed a couple deals within our organization, we were happy. It was bad. It was extremely hard, to the point if we were to call one of our clients and ask if they were hiring, I mean, click.
Yeah. Did you have to, I'm sorry, did you have to lay anybody off?
We were pretty lean at the time. We probably did lay a few people off, but we've always, we kind of really had a hunker down mentality, and we have a very, the way we approach searches as a team. So we all kind of went in it together. And if we did get a good search, we put 3 or 4 recruiters on that search and just get it done and just try to make some money.
Okay. So crisis hits, and your business goes away. You had just signed a lease and for a new building.
We bought these buildings.
Oh, you just bought a building?
Oh, we bought a few of them.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yep. So, all right. So keep going.
By the way, we just bought another one during COVID. It's again, crazy, but we're crazy.
You know what? We did too. We did too.
Yeah.
We're, well, everyone's looking at the economic numbers to make sure that we didn't make a dumb decision. Right. But, keep going. So, okay. So keep going about what the world looks like in 2008 for you.
Yeah. So again, manufacturing and that type of thing is hurting. Right. So going back to the beginning of the story, where we kind of said, let's, we want to be battle tested. Right. So I'm thinking my personality is I'm more comfortable. This is going to sound strange. I'm more comfortable in a fight, right? Bad times, when times are good, I'm waiting for the bad times. Just my crazy personality. Kind of the thought where anyone could drive could drive the ship during, smooth seas. Yeah. Who can do it in the storm?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is what we're waiting for. Now, who are we as a company? What do we have? We hired a guy, Mike Silverstein, who he's probably a year out of college. And he went to Miami and he had a job locked up his senior year at DDR, Developers Diversified. He was going to be in real estate, really smart kid. And he ends up, something crazy happened. He goes to work there. He gets canned, basically. He's a friend of Sheldon, who I mentioned, a friend of his son, and we interview this guy. So again, we're going to hire during this recession. What are you thinking? Well, we ended up hiring him. He took a chance and he started calling on companies in the manufacturing space. This kid's got no money. He's a great salesperson. We knew he was going to be outstanding, but it's like, how are we going to feed him? He approaches us probably sometime during his first year, and someone he's talking to said, "Hey, like, why don't you try this space? You're banging your head against the wall in manufacturing. We think there's an area in healthcare that is going to take off." So that was when electronic medical records, all the hospitals were converting and putting their files on software.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember Mike asked us if he can go to a trade show. I believe it was in Chicago, called HIMSS. It's the big healthcare IT trade show.
Okay. We
struggled with that because, all right, we're paying this guy a salary. We're not making any money. Now he wants to travel. We know he's good, but is this the best use of our time and money? It was kind of old school mentality of, no, dude, just pick up the phone and make more calls. We ended up letting him go to the trade show, and he comes back a few days later, kind of, I found something here. Like, this is exciting. These companies are hiring. You guys always preach make mistakes faster. we need to diversify. We need to get out of this manufacturing space, get into healthcare IT. Eventually manufacturing will come back. And that's kind of what happened. He starts calling into this healthcare space and companies are hiring. He learned it. He became a market master of this space. We start hiring people to support him. And now we're building up people again. We're filling up these offices. And that's kind of how it went for a while.
Okay. So does the decision to hire him and the decision to fund him and support him this way, does that sort of put, and then ultimately the decision to follow him into this healthcare IT space, does that pull you out of the depths of the recession? Does that pull you out of the crisis?
100%. So, going with the theory of coming out of the recession or the downturn stronger on the other side, that has constantly been our calling card. So the idea of, we knew this manufacturing space, I mean, it's great, all this stuff, and you're seeing with Amazon today and companies like that, everything that's going on in warehousing. I mean, it's great, but we needed another stool. We didn't know at the time what that was, and we were always looking for the next thing. What's the next great thing? But we had a narrow kind of thought process, just thinking it was around industrial stuff. But really getting away from that and starting this healthcare practice, which has now turned into 3 or 4 practices, kind of offshoots of that. But that was the way for us, out, not only out of the recession, but bless you, but to come back stronger.
Yeah.
And that was changed everything for us.
So you hear the word pivot a lot during COVID, right?
Yep.
We pivoted our business. COVID and the quarantine cratered us, so we went fully online, or we went fully Zoom or whatever, right? I've heard from countless clients and folks I know about how they changed their entire business model, so this is 13 years later, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like that's pretty much what you did, right? Manufacturing went away in 2008. At least as a customer for you, as a revenue source for you. You guys pivoted into this new area. Did you use that mindset again in 2008, or I'm sorry, during COVID at all, or was that, or at any other time?
100%.
Talk about that.
The lessons learned from 2008 were more diverse client base. In 2008, it's still very, very much resembled the company I joined in 1999. We were kind of a mom and pop. We were more of a lifestyle business. From 2008 to 2021, we became a real company.
Yeah.
Operations people, 70 some internal staff, starting a so we were positioned to be successful the next time around, but it was absolutely the same mentality of hunker down, all hands on deck. I remember the meetings as a company in the beginning of COVID, and I don't think this story is unique. I talk to, as you do, CEOs and entrepreneurs all the time, that those Zoom meetings with our staff of we're going to survive. We're going to come out of this stronger. It was the same type of mentality, just a little more confidence, I think. That's the right word. I'll use that word. Confidence that we were going to come out stronger because we did it already.
Yeah.
We had this healthcare practice. We have our industrial group that now is a 25-person practice within our company. We have other areas. We're in areas of government and public safety. We're in areas of energy. So it all helped. But I think that the mentality is, let's come out of this stronger. Let's continue to hire, hence buying the building next door as you did. Let's continue to be aggressive and let's continue to make mistakes faster.
Did I see behind you an EOS binder?
Yes, you did.
Are you the visionary in your company? Are you in that seat?
I'm the visionary. Yeah.
Are you also the integrator, or is that?
I'm not. So Robert Cohn, one of my partners, is the integrator. It's interesting because I would say for us, every 5 years is some type of event. Yeah. I want to do something. I want to move the needle. So there was 2008 getting into healthcare. 5 years after that, or about that, we adopted EOS. So that another game changer for our company.
Yeah, I just love it. We've been running on EOS for about 3 years now, and I mean for the folks at home who are entrepreneurs, I don't know, Dan, if you had the same emotion when you pulled yourself out of other seats in the company and put yourself into that visionary seat, and just started focusing on right butts in the right seats everywhere else. But it was, for me, once I got into that visionary seat and pulled myself out of all the other seats I was in, it was like an elephant getting off my chest.
Yep.
You know?
Interesting. Right. Delegate and elevate.
Yeah.
Who was your implementer?
Well, so we started in self-implementation mode, made every mistake we could have made. Then we brought in Gene Roberts.
Same. That's crazy.
Is that yours too?
Yeah.
He's amazing. That dude's awesome. Yeah. We brought him in, and he gave us a chiropractic treatment and tweaked us in a lot.
What a painful process.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, well, and so this is where I was trying to get to, right? Because so our integrator now is my partner, Lou Licata. And there is this amazing yin and yang that we have where I see an opportunity and I want it and I want to go after it, right? Like yesterday. And I want to start dumping resources into it. He and Lou, and then our leadership team generally is good at helping me vet opportunities without putting the brakes too hard on my ideas, but they put the brakes on them in a really positive way sometimes, because I definitely, I mean, my ADD and me being in that visionary seat, I have a tendency to just want to throw shit against the wall and see what sticks.
Yep.
And so from an EOS standpoint, and also from just the specific leadership people that we have become very good at vetting opportunities, focusing on the good ones, and not throwing every dollar at everything that comes out of my head.
Yep.
Do you have a similar experience that has helped you pivot and helped you get into the right ideas and opportunities, or do you also have a throw things against the wall to see what sticks mentality?
Yeah, so I'm listening to you talk, and I'm thinking to myself, and I've listened to some of your other podcasts, and I hear Aaron Grossman and John Julius and these people who I'm familiar with. I think they're true visionaries. I can't say about myself that I'm stuck somewhere between a visionary and an integrator, right? Our integrator is much more detail oriented than me. People joke he's the devil's advocate. He's him and I butt heads a little bit. He butts heads with a lot of our other partners simply because they're more entrepreneur. He's more, hold on a second, process. So it's worked out really well. I'm probably more, I heard something, I saw a speaker a few months ago, and they talked about this theory of moving slow to go fast.
Yeah. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Yeah. That's a Navy SEALs have that on their, on the walls when they walk into to their training. Yeah. Keep going.
That hit me. I mean, that's me.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time just in my office and unfortunately too much time up at night, just thinking strategically, but it's not, I'm not a throw a bunch of shit against the wall guy.
Yeah.
My mentor, Shelly, that's him. We used to joke, whichever way the wind's blowing, he changes.
Yeah.
Let's go this way. Let's go this way. So I think, and God bless him, but I think working with him very closely all those years caused me to be like a little slower, a little bit more methodical. I don't have an idea every week. We've had some really good ideas. We've had some really bad ideas too. But our integrator, he's not dealing with me in a way like, Dan, chill, like you're too much right now.
Yeah.
Once in a while, I'll get that. But for the most part, it's a pretty good thing where like, let's do this. And he does a great job of implementing it.
Yeah.
So it works really well.
I would challenge you on use. I think that you are a true visionary and arguably a better visionary than a lot of other ones that I know, including myself, in that you have a natural self-regulating governor there, whereas I don't, and I need to surround myself with people to keep me focused. You've got two people like that, you plus your integrator,
right?
And so that's powerful.
It's interesting. Real quick, that just to that point, it's, and I don't know if you feel this way, and any of your listeners or people you've hosted, but it's a lot of the businesses we're in. You mentioned that we're one of the top 30 search firms in North America. I look at the firms above ours, and it's a very friendly community. We could talk to each other, and it's friendly competition there, but there's really not a playbook for this. And I don't have an MBA from Harvard or anything like that. And we both went to Brush and went to Ohio State, but we grew up how we grew up, and we're all doing well. We all want to do more, but there's no like playbook we're following, right? So I think that keeps a lot of us, and it kind of might be a Cleveland thing, keeps a lot of us humble, keeps a lot of us hungry. I like that.
Well, it ain't a small feat to have broken the top 30 recruiters in North America, Dan. That's amazing. That's an amazing accomplishment.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's one last thing I wanted to ask you about. Well, two things actually. We just touched on like the experience that you took from 2008 and how you were more confident going into the quarantine, right? Was there a pivot? Were there decisive strategic moves that you made in 2020 when suddenly everybody went on unemployment, right? No, I mean, I presume you went from everyone's hiring to nobody's hiring to now everyone's hiring again, right? I mean, talk about your experience during COVID.
Yeah. So here's what happened. So we talked about 2008, healthcare IT takes off. Okay. What happens in 2020? So basically, our clients in healthcare IT are developers of software that hospitals buy. COVID hits. Hospitals are overran with sick patients. Our client base, they're selling software to hospitals. Well, what do you think a salesperson that's selling software to a hospital is doing when COVID hits? Hospitals aren't seeing anyone. Those people can't get in the hospital. Hospitals are all hands on deck helping sick patients with COVID,
right?
Stopping elective surgeries. Our healthcare IT business in 2020, every search gets put on hold. We don't know what's going to happen. But think about quarantine. Everyone starts ordering stuff online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Delivering your groceries. Amazon's going crazy. Walmart's going crazy. So now we're back to our industrial group, which we kind of restructured right before COVID. We made it bigger. We beefed it up. We kind of changed the way we did things, some internal process. Now that piece of our business all of a sudden raises up.
Yeah.
Healthcare IT stops for a few months. So
Yeah.
the opposite happened in 2020, still worked out. Now hospitals are obviously changing. It came back stronger. Some of the stuff we did kind of transferred to insurance companies now, and you don't want to hear all that. But once again, we pivoted.
Yeah.
Understanding that healthcare IT was going to be hurting for a while. We still hired. We were still investing in it. But Mike and our other partner Norm, who's in it, and Frank, that they kind of pivoted as well to come out stronger once again. So it worked again. Some luck in there, right? Good economy. The job market's going crazy right now. I think there's we're not alone in recruiting firms that are doing well. I think a lot of us are doing real well right now, but we were positioned because of the diversity of our practices to come out stronger.
Well, and it sounds like you have baked into your growth strategy and your stability strategy the idea that you have to be fleet and flexible, and you have to shift resources around based on who's hiring and who's not, and you've done that. I think that there is a lesson learned there that has to be applicable to every industry, every kind of company, which is that if it's hard to be flexible, then when the economy requires flexibility or other external circumstances require flexibility, if you're not, you're going to suffer. It's going to suck a lot more than it needs to. But you've demonstrated, Dan, that you can make flexibility work for you, and not just survive but thrive during crises.
Yeah.
The last thing I was going to just kind of key in on, one of the first things you said during this interview is, I'm the kind of leader that likes a fight. I don't enjoy calm waters as much as the action, I guess. And I feel like I'm sort of listening to my own inner monologue when I hear that, Dan.
Where does that come from? Where does that? It's a little bit of insecurity, a little bit of anxiety, but it's just in you sometimes.
Well,
when things are good, when are they going to go wrong?
Yeah, I think that I think it's also just, I don't know. Do you think that you're an adrenaline junkie at all, like I am?
Like, I'm not like adrenaline junkie. I like competition.
Okay.
I'm not like in a skydive or anything. My wife did that once, and I was pissed at her. Like, no way. But I don't think it's adrenaline. I like being in competition.
Yeah.
In the middle of it.
Yeah.
When it's over, like I play golf, boring, but yeah, I'm typical. But yeah, so I might play really, really well, and I'm having fun in it. But when it's over, I'm like, I'm really not that good.
Yeah.
I got to go out again and do it again. It's just something. It's just something that's in me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and whether that's competing against yourself or against somebody else, you like the action, you like the competition, right? Yeah. I mean, I think that is a feature, and frankly, a requirement of good CEOs and good visionaries is that, you see a goal, you want to go after it. You set it for yourself, right? Whether it's beating your own score at golf or surviving the pandemic or whatever, meeting revenue goals. There is a wiring there. There is a series of tendencies that make you a good visionary, a good CEO when you need that, when you see a goal and you just got to go after it. I mean, sure, I think that we could probably do a psychotherapy analysis and figure out where that started and how that got cultivated. But
right, it starts from fear and a little bit of insecurity, probably.
Yeah.
That's what drives you. And I think that, have you ever heard the theory of it's CEO imposter theory?
Yeah.
It's a situation where it's lonely, right? And a lot of people count on you, And it's just the theory of, okay, am I doing the best I can? Am I living up to my potential? Am I taking this company as far as it can go? So it's those things and those questions. You're constantly questioning yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the driver.
Yeah. Agreed. Dan, this was awesome, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining me, for telling your story.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So directrecruiters.com is your company's website.
Yep.
Folks, go there, check it out, particularly if you're in the market and need executives or other talent. Dan, I see you have a Twitter and a LinkedIn. I don't know how active you are on it, but folks can find you in both places. Yeah?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dan Charney, Direct Recruiters. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks
Folks,
for having me. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Folks, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time. Thanks for listening to CEO Confidential. I hope you enjoyed it. Visit us at ceoconfidential.net and visit our sponsors, the business law firm of Gertzberg Licata and Cover My Six, a business solution that flushes out and repairs legal minefields before they blow up in court. We'll see you next time right here for another episode of CEO Confidential.